Okie.
Hello, everybody. This week on the Downsized News, Aldi's on the Downsized News. Can't get it out today. Aldi debuts its biggest packaging refresh ever. Amazon unifies its grocery brands under one powerful new name. Walmart goes clean label across its food lines. Sam's Club rolls out Members Mark sushi. I like sushi. And Kroger packs the shelves with Simple Truth protein. It's a massive week for retailer-owned brand innovation, and it's reshaping how America shops. Welcome to Velocity This Week Live. This is your source for all things private brand, private label, and retailer-owned brands.
I'm Laraine Durham, Vice President of Marketing and Events here at the Velocity Institute.
And I'm Christopher Durham, President of the Velocity Institute. We're here to inform you of the latest trends, insights, and updates in the private brand industry. It's Wednesday, October 8th, and we're back with fresh news and opinion.
Each week, we'll bring you breaking news, industry insights, and upcoming events so you can be in the loop about what's coming up at the Velocity Institute.
And of course, thank you to our sponsors, Marketing by Design and Centric Software. You can connect with them using the links in the description below, and you'll actually get to meet someone from Centric in just a little while.
Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. First up, a few private brand picks.
So we always like to scrounge around our cupboard and see what are the things we're buying and the things we love. We travel a lot and have a lot of opportunities to see private brands from around the world. What do you have, Laraine?
I have a protein macaroni and cheese under the Simple Truth brand from Kroger. I believe Simple Truth is
it's the largest natural organic brand in the United States.
Exactly. So I know my kids love macaroni and cheese. This one has 14 grams of protein. So I've been looking for ways to get more protein into my diet and my family's diet. So we saw this and I was like, easy. And we've tried it and we like it. Even the kids like it. So
and we'll have more. There's actually a full story about this, the whole set here towards the end of the news. But I mean, Kroger's right on trend.
Yeah. We replaced our blue box mac and cheese with a green box mac and cheese.
All right. Next up, I actually have a private brand product from Germany. So this is from Rue. And I think this was actually one that won a Vertex Awards this year. So they sent us a bunch of samples and we got it. It's a meal kit sort of package. So instead of a jarred sauce that you'd pour on something for a satay or a Indian meal, this is a peanut satay. It has fresh spices and it has the onion and garlic paste in it.
There's three different
envelopes. There's 3 different packs. It's very, very tasty
Just
and fresh.
Add your own protein, I guess chicken or...
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, Aldi recently in the U.S. launched what looks exactly like this.
Different flavorings, slightly different.
Well, actually, they had the same flavors. The recipe was a little bit different. There was some allergens that they had taken out.
They took out the nuts.
But it's got to be the same producer. It's got to be.
Well, the packaging was so similar.
Same.
And we actually made one of the flavors at home. I think it was
the butter chicken.
It was an Indian flavor, and we thought it was very good and maybe a little bit more flavorful than just a dry sauce.
It tasted more like a restaurant, like something that would be, I hate to use the word authentic, but more authentic per se. Then I always like to throw in one of the vintage packs from the book I released a few years ago, Vanguard Vintage Originals. So we collected about 120 different private brand packs all the way back to the 1800s. This one comes from A&P. A&P. So you see this one, late 1800s, early 1900s. This is a spice tin for A&P mustard. Has a little illustration of your grandma, the grandmother's advice using A&P. You can kind of see her on there.
I mean, the little metal tin is kind of groovy.
Honestly, it's really nice package design.
Yeah, we should go back to that.
Well before computers, so this would have all been engraved and the whole 9 yards. So, for people who think that...
Any guesstimate on the year for that?
Late 1800s, early 1900s. I mean, A&P, is the original grocer out there. But for people who think that it all started with, black and white generic packaging, well, it goes back a lot longer than that, which is exciting to see. All right. So, story number one, Aldi is stamping its name across nearly every product it sells in what the company calls its largest packing refresh ever, a sweeping redesign that will touch more than 90% of its products and put the Aldi name front and center for its shoppers. The move comes as the discount grocer faces a lawsuit from Mondelez International, which claims Aldi packaging for certain cookies and crackers blatantly copies Oreos, Wheat Thins, and Ritz. Aldi declined to comment on pending litigation, but said the packaging overall has been years in the making and was driven entirely by customer feedback. The redesign will unify the look of more than 1,650 core products and 500 seasonal items, all of which make up the majority of Aldi's shelf space. Many familiar brands like Clancy's Simply Nature and Specially Selected will retain their names, but now feature an Aldi original badge. Other items will carry the Aldi name directly marking the retailer's first ever namesake product line. So you can see here,
completely different.
And what they've discovered, and we'll see this in a second, is American customers love them. So why not say
love Aldi?
I don't think anybody was tricked by Clancy's.
Some of their packaging was definitely close, and I definitely was possibly tricked in the past.
Were you really?
Yeah, like on some of the Horizon Milk dupe and the one of the butter dupes, but I mean, maybe that's just because I didn't have my glasses on, but they were pretty close.
So Christy Wrights, who's the director of brand and design, said, "We're refreshing the packaging of every product at Aldi, including everyday items, seasonal rotations, and Aldi finds. Our goal was to create a design system that feels recognizable across categories while highlighting the quality and value shoppers already associate with our name." The new brand strategy and design lean into the deep affection Aldi customers have expressed for the retailer, embracing the Aldi name on pack and celebrating the culture of loyalty that has long defined the brand. It follows years of shoppers lining up for Aldi's annual wine advent calendars and proudly sharing photos of their Aldi swag across social media. This refresh turns that passion into a visual identity, one that meets customers where they already are. Longtime fan favorites will also reflect the way shoppers already talk about them. The company's viral red bag chicken is one example. We buy it all the time. The nickname will now appear on the packaging as part of Aldi's new approach to capturing fan energy and community love. New CEO Addie McGrath, who has stepped into the role earlier this month, said the redesign underscores Aldi's commitment to a modern, streamlined shopping experience. She goes on to say, "We've built our reputation on value and simplicity. Now we're making sure the products that define Aldi look as strong as the trust customers already have in them." The refresh comes during a period of record growth and recognition for the retailer. Aldi was named the Vertex Awards Global Retailer of the Year this past year, a distinction that honors excellence and innovation in retailer-owned brand design. So as you know, that's the competition we run, and the work they submitted from all around the world was stunning, honestly. The recognition cements Aldi's reputation as a global leader in brand strategy, packaging, and design execution. The update also aligns with Aldi's record 2025 expansion, which includes opening more than 225 new U.S. stores, its largest single-year growth since entering the market nearly 50 years ago. That total includes roughly 100 converted Winn-Dixie and Harvey supermarkets locations set to reopen under the Aldi banner later this year. But beyond aesthetics, the redesign fits into Aldi's broader sustainability strategy. Since 2019, the company has worked towards making all Aldi exclusive packaging reusable, recyclable, or compostable by 2025, and it says it has already met that goal while continuing to reduce materials and increase recycled content. The new look is rolling out now and will continue to phase in over the next several years. For Aldi, the refresh isn't just about visibility on the shelf, it's about embracing the love customers already have for the brand, transforming that loyalty into a bold, unified visual identity that celebrates Aldi's place in the hearts and shopping carts of millions.
Yeah, I love Aldi. We shop Aldi several times a month.
All the time.
We get the red bag chicken just about every week. I'm glad they're leaning into their fan favorites.
They launched red bag nuggets too.
And they're delicious.
They are delicious. Yes, they are delicious.
So they're definitely a favorite at our house.
So, I mean, it's interesting because we have the opportunity, and if you've never been to the Vertex Awards site, you can go and look at their package design from all over the world. And I think this year they submitted from 5 or 6 different countries, and each country, I think they're all both managed centrally and managed locally. So each country may have unique pieces to themselves, but it's all of those creative directors are working together. I'm hoping, in talking to Christy Wrights, we're hoping to be able to get them all on stage with us at the Vertex Awards this year, because I think that global story is a story that very few retailers can tell.
I mean, what a feat of coordination, right? Talking about a global network of stores, literally.
Well, and they talk about it rolling out over the next year or two. I mean, as small as their footprint is and as fast as their turn is, that turn will be quick. There won't be old packaging there for very long.
Nothing stays in an Aldi store very long, that's for sure. In story number 2, Amazon is making a bold new play in the retailer-owned brand arena. This past week, the retailer introduced Amazon Grocery, a new brand focused squarely on value and affordability. The brand brings together the existing Amazon Fresh and Happy Belly names under one unified identity. And with more than 1,000 products, it represents one of the tech giant's biggest grocery expansions yet. Amazon says the new brand is designed for the price-conscious consumer, with most items priced under $5. The price lineup spans virtually every aisle, from fresh produce, dairy, meat, and seafood, to snacks, baking staples, and pantry essentials. The retailer describes Amazon Grocery as a response to shoppers' growing sensitivity to price, promising quality and taste without compromise across its entire assortment. Jason Bushell, Amazon's vice president of worldwide grocery and CEO of Whole Foods Market, called the move a simplification of the retailer's private label strategy. With Amazon Grocery, we're simplifying how customers discover and shop our extensive private label food selection while maintaining the quality and value our customers expect and deserve, he said. The announcement rippled across Wall Street, sending grocery and retail stocks lower. Albertsons shares fell more than 2%, while Walmart, Kroger, Costco, and Target each dropped roughly 1% following the news. For Amazon, the launch comes amid a strategic overhaul of its grocery operations. The company recently announced plans to shutter all of its Amazon Go and Fresh locations in the UK, while expanding same-day delivery for fresh foods in the US. At the same time, executives have pointed to strength in everyday essentials, products like canned goods, paper towels, and snacks that keep customers coming back. The move also signals Amazon's intent to challenge retail giants like Walmart, Aldi, and Costco, all of which are leaning heavily into private brand food innovation. Walmart launched its Better Goods line last year, and Aldi has begun branding nearly all of its products as Aldi Originals to reinforce loyalty and value perception. Among the first items under the Amazon Grocery banner are cage-free large white eggs, Caesar salad with chicken, ground beef, oven-roasted turkey breast, and jasmine long-grain rice. New products rolling out soon include fresh bakery cinnamon rolls, refrigerated pizza dough, frozen pasta meals, pie fillings, granola, deli meats, and frozen vegetables. With the launch of Amazon Grocery, the company isn't just adding another brand, it's signaling that retailer-owned brands have become a central strategy in the modern grocery business. As value-conscious consumers continue to trade down from national brands, Amazon's move could help it capture a larger share of America's grocery cart.
So it's interesting. Their private brand strategy has swung back and forth a couple of times, and it's not uncommon for retailers. So I want more brands, I want less brands. How am I going to market? This is a pretty traditional private label play, so it's not a huge surprise. It consolidates down the design strategies. Honestly, they could have just put the name Amazon on it. I don't think you have to tell people it's Amazon Groceries.
Well, and they're such a major player that anytime they even make an announcement, it affects Walmart, Costco, Target, everybody else as well.
Next story, in a sweeping move focused on consumer health and trust, Walmart US announced plans to eliminate synthetic dyes and more than 30 other ingredients from its food brands, marking one of the largest reformulations in retail history and a major step towards cleaner, simpler ingredient lists. The change affects Walmart's Great Value, Market Side, Freshness Guaranteed, and Better Goods brands. The retailer says the decision comes directly from listening to its customers, who are increasingly asking for transparency and foods made with ingredients they recognize. Our customers have told us they want products made with simpler, more familiar ingredients, and we've listened, said John Furner, president and CEO of Walmart US. The reformulation will touch hundreds of products across categories, including great value cereals, snacks, sports drinks, and dressings, with changes rolling out over the next few months. Walmart expects the entire transition to be completed by January 2027, so right out a year there. While removing the synthetic dyes and other additives can increase production costs, Walmart says its scale and supplier network will allow it to maintain competitive pricing. The company noted that great value products are found in 9 out of 10 American households. Let me stop on that for a second. So they have a 90% penetration in American households.
That's
Yeah.
unheard of. They keep their competitive pricing because Walmart says, here's your new price.
Well, and
I mean,
it's
that's how
just
they do it. I mean,
that,
they're such a giant. They're
that's
so,
how
yeah.
it's just how pervasive they are. I mean, the statistic that used to be so startling would be Kenmore appliances from Sears were in 80% of all American households, or Craftsman tools. So
Right.
great value in 9 out of 10. It's impressive. Obviously, this makes this one of the most significant ingredient shifts ever undertaken by a U.S. grocer. One can only believe that this will drag some of the other retailers along with it. So there are factories out there that will shift their formulas and then go, oh, we have this new formula.
Mm-hmm.
100 store chain, you need to be coming along with us.
Mm-hmm.
The dyes being phased out, known as FD and C colors, are approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for use in food, drugs, and cosmetics, but growing consumer awareness has led many shoppers to seek products made without artificial additives. According to Walmart, 41 ingredients across its U.S. food portfolio. The company says 90% of its foods are already free from synthetic dyes, and this next phase brings it closer to a full transition to natural colors and clean label formulations. A recent shopper survey reinforced the shift. 54% of consumers say they check ingredient labels, and 62% want more transparency in what they buy. This mindset has already helped to drive the success of Better Goods, Walmart's chef-inspired premium made without line introduced in 2024, where 70% of items are priced under $5. By removing synthetic dyes and other unnecessary ingredients, we're helping families make choices they can feel good about, John Furner said. It's all about giving customers confidence that affordable food can also be food they trust. As Walmart works with its suppliers to find natural alternatives without sacrificing taste or quality, consumers will begin to see reformulated products on shelves later this year. With 10,750 stores in 19 countries and annual revenues topping $681 billion, the decision underscores how one company's focus on simplicity and transparency could set a new standard for retailer-owned food brands, and honestly for all food brands across the United States.
Right. Well, I'm glad they're leading the way in that. In story number 4, Sam's Club is raising the bar for in-club dining by officially bringing sushi under its flagship Members Mark brand. The move signals a new era for the retailer's fresh offerings, focused on chef-crafted, regionally inspired, and member-driven quality, backed by the value that Members Mark is known for. According to Alex Hardy, Senior Director of Merchandising, this transition is about putting members first. We're delivering the freshness, flavor, and quality in sushi that members deserve every day in our clubs. Made fresh daily by trained chefs, Members Mark sushi reflects local tastes, from jalapeno tuna rolls in Texas to mango-forward flavors in Puerto Rico and poke-style rolls in Hawaii. To celebrate this launch, Sam's Club has introduced the Nara Tray, a 40-piece, family-sized assortment featuring a mix of rolls like the Dragon Roll, California Crunch Roll, and Spicy Tuna Mango Roll, all for just $25. It's a good price. The Nara Tray was inspired by feedback from Millennial and Gen Z families who value simple ingredients and bold flavors. It also carries the Members Mark made without commitment, free from artificial colors, aspartame, and high fructose corn syrup. This rollout is part of a larger investment in Sam's Club's fresh food strategy, which includes sushi kiosk remodels, expanded curbside and delivery options, and regionalized online assortments. With this move, Sam's Club isn't just rebranding sushi, it's creating a platform for chef innovation, member collaboration, and a new level of fresh, family-friendly value under the Members Mark name. Cool.
So would you buy sushi from a club store?
I mean, that looks pretty appealing.
It does. It looks good.
If I saw the guy, making it fresh there, I would be like, oh, kids like sushi. Let me pick up a tray and bring it home.
Should be interesting to see how well that does.
We're not really
that's a lot of volume.
We're not millennials or.
I wasn't aware there was actually Gen Z families.
I mean, Gen X here, but looks good to me.
I'm with you. Kroger is tapping into one of the biggest trends in food, and we mentioned it earlier, protein, with the launch of Simple Truth Protein, a new line featuring more than 80 meals and snacks designed to make it easier for customers to meet their nutrition goals. The launch marks Kroger's largest product expansion for the Simple Truth brand to date, underscoring the grocer's focus on wellness, convenience, and value. Simple Truth Protein is designed to support customers who are prioritizing wellness and protein in their diets, said Ann Reed, Group Vice President of our brands at Kroger. By combining quality and affordability, these products highlight Kroger's commitment to innovation and to meeting customers' protein needs without the premium price tag. And if you shop protein these days, it can be expensive. From protein French toast sticks and mushroom-infused coffee to jalapeno cheddar puffs and cacio e pepe chicken bowls, the line covers everything from breakfast to dessert. All products are free from artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives, a core part of Simple Truth's Free From Promise. Kroger says the line was created to simplify wellness for customers who want high-protein options without having to shop specialty aisles. The collection includes on-the-go snacks, heat-and-eat meals, and pantry staples that fit a variety of lifestyles, from fitness-focused consumers to busy families. The Simple Truth brand, first launched in 2012, has become one of the most successful private brands in grocery, driving billions in annual sales alongside Private Selection, Kroger's premium tier line. With Simple Truth Protein, Kroger continues to position its private brands as both trendsetters and trusted sources for high-quality, affordable food. The retailer says more products are already in development as it builds on growing consumer demand for clean, convenient protein. We were in the store just the other day, and they're running end caps, and they've got stack outs and displays. And
I'll try it all. We tried the one and we liked it. So, we're definitely looking. I've got to get my 80 to 120 grams of protein a day. So that's a great way to find it.
So that's the 5 stories for this week. We also wanted to invite you personally to join us in Chicago for the Bold Bash. This is our 5th or 6th annual Bold Bash. I don't even know how many we've done, but it is the Monday night of PLMA. It'll be at Joe's Live, which is in the entertainment district adjacent to Rosemont, the convention center. You'll meet Julia from Centric. They're one of the sponsors, but we've got sponsors. You come in, there'll be a live band, some snacks, some drinks, you name it. Come in and meet everybody and talk to them. We get a lot of good retail presence because they've been wandering the floor, and it's time to have a drink.
Yeah, you can go to the velocityinstitute.org and RSVP there. It's a free event.
So up next, we're excited to welcome Julia. Let me get her on here. Oop, here we go. There's Julia. Say hello, Julia.
Hello, Christopher and Laraine. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. So Julia Gregory is the principal product manager at Centric Software. Centric's been a long-time sponsor and industry leader, helping retailers transform their private brand development through digital innovation. We're going to talk to Julia a little bit, kind of walk through. She's going to tell you about the velocity gap, which is a pretty cool concept. Of course, we like that name, but we'll talk about that. So Julia, first off, tell us about you.
Sure. I live in Bentonville, Arkansas. I moved here in 2008 with a tech company that I was working for at the time, and I supported Walmart's IT operations for 4 years before switching to working on their business. So I then was a category management consultant for many, many, many years here in Bentonville, working across different categories in the store at Walmart. And that time, I really enjoyed this assortment planning and controlling process that I became accustomed to. And I then had the opportunity in 2021 to move overseas with Aldi So I moved over to Austria with my family, my husband, and my 2 kids, and we had a blast living over there. And I got the chance to work on the assortment planning and controlling processes at Aldi at 11 different countries around the world, which was such a cool experience. And now for the last year here at Centric, I get to help retailers all over the world. And I'm still working on this assortment planning and controlling process. And we help retailers build their brands easier, cheaper, faster.
And I love that. And I love that you have both the retail side and the consulting side. And now you're getting the software kind of solution side. And so often I've met with people who are on that software solution side who have never actually worked in retail.
Never been to end users.
And there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
It just,
There
they
is.
had a great idea and they couldn't quite, because they've never done the job, right?
Yeah, it's hard, but I think it's hard as a product manager now for a lot of companies. A lot of companies struggle with this disconnect between IT and the business goals. So I'm really lucky that I started my career out in tech and then switched to business and now switched back to tech. So I've kind of danced between both worlds.
Well, so the question for always, particularly when you're a sponsor kind of thing, is if there's retailers in particular out there watching, tell me a little bit about how you can help them. What does Centric do to help me make my life easier if I'm a retailer?
There's a lot of things. So we are, at its basis, an enterprise collaboration software. So we are a software that tracks everything having to do with this very large end-to-end product process, which can span months, years, however long a retailer wants to take. And it's everything from managing the quality of your supplier relationships, making sure that your supply chain is resilient and having visibility to all stages of that supply chain, and really having a platform where you can come together with third parties like marketing agencies who might be working on your brand, or other agencies that you maybe outsource various tasks for in the product development process. Work with those third parties, work with your suppliers, work to make sure that you're legally compliant as you bring a product to market. There's a lot of things that we help break down silos, break down barriers within that process.
So to make sure I understand, because I'm a little slow and I like to repeat things. Essentially, it's a cloud-based software that is an evolution of what would have, in the old school way, been a product lifecycle management software.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you guys have kind of put the steroids in it, helps you.
Yeah, these product lifecycle management softwares, I think they started in like the aerospace industry and making rockets and airplanes and things like that, where you have to be very precise about every component that goes into it, and you have to plan them all separately and together. But the same goes for a retail product, whether it's one little sub-ingredient or one little raw material. The same care goes into making sure that those are safe for the consumer.
And then if I'm a product manager, a category manager, a marketing manager, all that data then lives in one place, and I can access it, whether it's to set up a new item or to put it in the flyer, if there's any flyers left. I don't even know if there's any flyers left.
Exactly. We have several different products within our portfolio that really give you, I think, limitless opportunities to surface whatever information you want to see to make your decisions on a daily basis, whether that's your daily information, your weekly information, your monthly planning, yearly planning, whatever it is that you want to do. It houses the information that you need about your products and your suppliers.
Oh, that sounds good. I can remember passing around too many Excel spreadsheets years ago.
Me too.
You never were really sure if that information was right or who put it in. So.
Excel is always the second best tool for everything.
That is the truth. So you guys have relationships with retailers like in basically everywhere. Well, except Antarctica.
Yeah, South America, China. I mean, we're pretty much in a lot of different countries now. We've got huge retailers over in Europe using us. We have retailers in Canada and United States. That's cool. And then we also work directly with CPG companies too. So we'll work with brands for manufacturers also.
Gotcha. So when you look across all of those retailers, what are kind of those private brand strategies that are really helping retailers lead?
I think this is where I'm borrowing your name velocity
That's okay. We like that.
today. I think it's such a great word. It's both your speed and your direction. And so I think you can't understate how important it is to know where you're going, to be aligned with everybody in your network that is iterating and innovating together for their private brands. And it's also the quality and resilience of your supply chain.
Yeah, I mean, for us, when we picked that name, I don't know, so often you see organizations, trade associations, all this kind of named private label, private, all this stuff. And to me, I wanted something that was aspirational,
Yeah.
something that was about the speed we should be operating at. So you and I are on the same page. I like that.
Well, I think
Um,
we are operating at that speed. I mean, I
yeah.
see the insides of these processes at retailers, and there's not a single person who's not moving at speed.
Well, and honestly, nobody ever loved a private label, right? Are they happy they got fake Cheerios for 20% less? Sure.
Oh, I disagree. I
But
disagree. I
but the
think
difference is they
that,
don't. I promise you they don't. Do, it's where Aldi really does it, right? And it's where this redesign figures it out. So they have products that are, here's my Cheerios for 20% less. Then they have all these other strategies they layer in to build loyalty. They know fake Cheerios aren't building loyalty.
no, but you
But
say that, but I was buying fake Cheerios from Aldi here in Bentonville. Don't tell anybody, right? Like when I first had my kids, because I was able to trust that they didn't have the added dyes, they didn't have added things. The US Aldi business was following European and EU
yeah,
standards long before other brands have caught up to those ideas here in the US. And so I knew that if I picked up any Aldi product off the shelf, and you'll see companies like Whole Foods stuff that exemplify this as well, where they have these very strong commitments to the ingredients, which they ban and which they don't allow in their foods. And that trust was a trust that I had in Aldi's
okay.
private brand long before Cheerios ever started talking about.
No, and I think that's smart. It's one of those things where we've gotten to a place where most consumers expect to walk into a grocery store and find a reasonable facsimile of a lot of national label brand products, right? So,
Well, right now price is just so important.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for, better priced
Yeah.
products.
Yeah.
well, so talk to me about strategies to help private brands lead, though. So it's one thing to say we're keeping up, right? We've got
Yeah.
it's kind of that the Amazon grocery story we did.
Yeah.
I think that's nice, but that kind of feels like we're keeping up. No
Yeah.
offense, Amazon, right?
Yeah.
How do they lead?
I started my career with Walmart as on the business side of it in these analytics roles, these merchandising analytics roles. And so I might be biased because I'm a data focused person. I'm an IT
Mhm.
data focused person. I have great appreciation for what data can bring us and the insights it can bring us. And I think that the companies that are leading with their private brands, especially retailers, they have that much more runway to succeed than a manufacturer does. And that's because they have access to data that a manufacturer never would. They have access to this transaction level data. They have access to, this person at this time is doing this, and this is how that behavior has changed over time. And this little store in this little zip code has this behavior. And if you go 2 blocks over, it's going to have this behavior. And they have access to that richness of information about their customers that the brands are quite disconnected from. So I think leadership in brands in general it's with the retailer. The retailer is the best positioned person to lead.
Well, I mean,
And
today
it comes down to data they have.
they live in this space where it's not even just transactional. They now own their own websites and their own Instagrams and their own Pinterests and their own. So if they can combine all that data and pull real insights out of it, holy cow! It's crazy. Well, talk to me about the velocity gap that you mentioned.
Yeah, so the velocity gap, you can sort of picture it as a spectrum. So on one end, you have leading retailers, and these are tech-enabled, digitally native organization. They lead with new ideas. They create or they co-create their IP together with manufacturers. They might be manufacturing directly within a factory. They are truly owning their brand promise to the customer. And so that's one end of the spectrum. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have retailers who take a back seat and they say, innovation is something we wait for our suppliers to bring to us. Hey, do you have any new innovation? Hey, can you talk to me about your innovation? And in between those two retailers, with the digitally native organization on one side and this like backseat in my private brand, in there is this velocity gap that exists. So if a retailer is working hand in hand with their suppliers to develop innovation, or working themselves to develop their brand IP, their intellectual property within their brands, that is the truly resilient and leading digitally native like retailer. Like that's what it looks like to me. And everything in between is a gap. It's a velocity gap. And I think a surefire way that you can identify if somebody is stuck in this velocity gap is if you hear them talk about things like lead times. And like that's their focus. Lead times. I must have it quicker. Like that is such a myopic view to how you have speed to market. The real measure of your resiliency as an organization is how long it takes to pivot. So when the war in Ukraine breaks out and 25% of the world's bread basket is, at risk, how long does it
all
take
the sunflower oil
to substitute? Yeah, how long does it take to substitute these ingredients with, some other source? Or did you already have surety of supply from other resources that were already established relationships in your org?
I mean, it's an interesting conversation to me because so many people, particularly in the US, like to focus and go, gosh, the UK is so far ahead of us in penetration and all these things. And I look at them and I say, there's really like 5 retailers in the UK that matter. That's it, 5, right? If you look across the United States, there's a good 100. And they exist in that continuum that you were just talking about, from we just barely have private label and we're probably buying from Federated or Topco or somebody, all the way to the Wegmans, the Hy-Vees, the Trader Joe's of the world over here. And they're all
Making their own
in that
innovation.
continuum doing different things.
Yeah.
Right. So the question for me is, how does Centric help me move up that continuum?
It's this, digitally it's for the digital natives out there, right? And it's a pretty easy software that resembles a lot of software that people are used to using, like Excel or things. There would be tables and pivots and filters and things like that you're used to seeing in all of the tools you use at work. But it's the most accurate data. It's the most current. It's connected with your enterprise, financial data. It's connected in ways that makes sure that those downstream IT systems also have the most current information, and that there were always back in, when I started doing this years ago, it was one of those things where you would have a report, you would have a PowerPoint you put together, and the questions would always be, okay, well, when was this data pulled? What was this? Well, this doesn't match what I see. So what is this? And this ability to just close all of that noise, because you're all working together with your suppliers out of the same system, with the same data, with the same, sort of a buying cockpit, if you will, helping you to make your decisions in real time together with the people who matter that you need to collaborate with. And that's where the real magic happens. It's this, you're not passing Excel files and PDFs over anymore. You're not having 10 different departments working in silos without visibility to each other's work. You now get to see where everything is at any time in this product launch process, or beyond the quality management that happens after a product, that make sure you still are doing your factory audits and other things.
Yeah. So everybody can see the latest data at any time, and you don't have to have a report that says, well, this is how many I sold in olive last month. Everybody can see right away.
And it gives me, particularly as a smaller retailer, so because this can go all the way from a retailer who's aspirational and wants to be better to the biggest retailers, the same tools. I have the opportunity to behave like a big guy, even if I'm not.
Well, and I think the small retailers, they are, I think, innovating even faster than the big ones because you might have one,
maybe less levels to.
Well, I mentioned
they're leveraging our platform even better than some of the biggest retailers.
And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, there's some regional players out there doing some really nice stuff, and they're just picking where they can win, and they're being smart about it. Versus, so if you have the right tools and you know your customer, why not? Well, so I'm always interested then from the technology side, from the category management, all the stuff, all of your background there. What does the future look like for Centric and all of these things? How does it play?
Yeah, I think it looks really rosy. I think the future looks more resilient, more collaborative, and more connected. Like, that's what we're trying to build.
I like that.
Faster decisions. It sounds like.
Faster, cheaper, easier, just simpler.
Well, and I think the opportunity to be more collaborative, particularly in product development, because I think we've built this private brand industry that was built off mimicking things. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to take that and we have to keep that core muscle strength, right? That doesn't go away, and add innovation and sustainability.
Yeah.
All of this is the harder part, and it takes collaboration.
It's a lot. Not all retailers have the muscle yet knowing how to do this. And a tool like ours helps because it just surfaces all of the things that need to get done, and it can help train you throughout the whole process too. So I think the other thing that's probably the easiest thing, another trend that I've seen as my career has progressed within retail over the last 18 years. When I first started working with buyers, there were buyers who had been in their seat for 35 years, 40 years. They'd been buying the same commodity for a really long time. And now you see buyers who've been in their chair for 18 months.
Yeah.
And that shift, it's not unique to retail. This is a shift across how, all the generations are working and loyalty in general to different organizations. But you'll see that there's no institutional memory loss when you have a platform like Centric's because it's all right there. It's all visible. So when one person leaves, they don't lose the context of where something was in the process or, what was the latest.
We use.
It's all there. There's an audit trail. There's, it helps if you get a lawsuit because you've knocked off something a little too closely. It helps in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll ask a more technical question. What features, and I don't even know that you know the answer to this. PLMs have been around a lot. PLMs have been around a long time, and they basically started as fancy spreadsheets, and they've evolved into this sort of bigger, all-inclusive thing that helps me manage my whole business. Mm-hmm. And even to the point of some of them are introducing AI and real language analysis and all sorts of things. Is there cool stuff coming from you guys that you want to share?
I love working with our AI team. Like we're doing so many things now. Like we already have an AI agent where if you have, like, say, a certification management attachment within your product, that you can interrogate or search using the language analysis through the AI. So we're really leading and cutting edge in terms of how PLMs are now layering in AI, so much so that we have retailers that we're working with who are saying, can we get your tool but then use it on other parts of our enterprise platforms? Yeah.
Sounds like a revenue opportunity to me.
Well, we'll see. It's still beta, but it's really cool. I think 1 year, 2 years from now, it's going to be shocking how.
I mean, I worked for retailers for a long time, and I can tell you we had more data than we possibly knew what to do with. Mm-hmm. So if there's a way to better leverage that data with whatever tool, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's also part of like something emblematic of the velocity gap, right? Is the
Mhm.
retailers who are drowning in their data
Mm.
versus the ones who have already used tools like Centrix to intelligently automate many stages of the process based on what they should do in certain scenarios.
All right. So it's time for our 5 questions. Are you ready for the 5 questions?
I'm ready.
So for these, we love to do 5 questions, and the 5 questions were really inspired by some classic interview techniques that are out there. So the first one is, what's your favorite word?
Well, we already talked about velocity, so I can't use that one. I would have to say my favorite word is in German, and I'm not going to try to say it because I would completely butcher it. But it roughly translates as egg laying wool milk sow, and it's this mythical beast that lays eggs, produces wool, gives you bacon, and egg laying wool milk sow.
That's
It's
all
all
of
things
German's
for
favorite
all people.
things.
Yeah,
It's all my favorite things.
yeah.
I think that's fun.
Cool.
So, second question, are you a more artistic or more mathematic person?
I'm equal parts both. So when I spent a lot of my career doing shelf planning, for example, or store, layout planning and floor planning, these are both a science and an art, and I think that's where I've really thrived throughout my career is because I'm both.
I like that answer. If you could have dinner with anyone, past or present, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I studied economics for my undergrad, so I think I would be remiss if I didn't name my favorite economist. So that's Frances Perkins. She's been dead for 60 years now, and she was the first female cabinet member for a US president.
Wow.
She served as the US Labor Secretary for 12 years, 3 consecutive terms. She held that position longer than any other person has before or since. And she was able to because she had so much time, she also led the US through some very difficult moments through post-Depression recovery. She was behind FDR's New Deal policies. She led sweeping reforms to the US economic policy during and after World War II. She was this fierce consumer advocate. So she's the reason we have a lot of expansions to the labor rights that we all enjoy today. So she was a champion for workers' rights. She fought to bring the work week down to 54 hours, and then she got it down to 48 hours. And she was working really hard to put an end to child labor.
I love that.
I have never heard of Frances Perkins.
I know nobody knows who she is. Not everybody's a policy wonk or economist.
I think I saw something about her recently on a social media platform, and it was amazing how much she had done just quietly in the background.
Completely in the background. She was just the kind of person who got stuff done, and she wasn't really respected for it during her time, or maybe even really hasn't gotten a lot of glory for it since. She just quietly made major reforms that we all really enjoy the benefits of in the US today.
I didn't even know that there was a woman cabinet member that early.
There you go.
Honestly, so news to me, but I'll look her up. That sounds really cool. What profession other than your own would you have liked to have tried?
My first job out of college was working at the Arizona State Senate. I was an intern there. And I really wanted to go to law school. I thought that was in the cards for me. And at multiple different stages of my career, 5 years in, 10 years in, I would take the LSAT again and apply to a couple schools and get in and really weigh the costs and benefits and then pull myself out of it. But had I actually given in to any of those urges over the years, there's some other version of reality for me where I'm working at a free legal aid clinic in a rural area somewhere.
Or a woman senator or president. I think you're doing great where you are.
I'm 56 years old, and I know a couple of people who went back to law school.
I still think I will one day. I don't think that's completely off the cards, but we'll see.
You never know. I mean,
just for the curiosity of it in general. I just want to see the way my thinking changes after.
Well, I mean, what I love about today's society is there was a point in time not that long ago where you were kind of stuck in a track and there was no way to get out. Whereas today, people can take a left turn and do something completely different. Doesn't matter, right? You just do what you want to do. I think that's very exciting. Last question. So if you could speak to yourself at the beginning of your career, what advice would you give yourself?
This one was tough. There's a lot of things where I wouldn't change anything. But then on the other hand, I think the thing I struggle with the most is I'm a recovering people pleaser. I still work far too many hours. Don't tell Frances Perkins. But I think I would tell myself that done and defining when something is done is better than perfect.
Hey, that's a smart thing to say.
What is that saying? Perfect is the enemy of the good.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It took me far too many years to learn that.
No, fast iteration is a good thing.
Yes.
Oh, well, very good, Julia. Well, thanks for joining us. So if you'd like to connect with Julia, I know she's available on LinkedIn. I will also put a link to the Centric website in the description. So make sure you guys reach out to Julia or the Centric team. I know they would be happy to talk to you about the cool stuff there they could have that can help with your business. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Julia?
Well, I just have to apologize that my cats didn't come to the meeting because I know that your cat does sometimes.
Ours didn't either. You never know.
Sometimes ours walk
I can see that they're sleeping. They're just sleeping on the job over there.
All right, well, our cat's name is Jojo, and Jojo loves, if there's a meeting going on, Jojo will just come hang out. Doesn't really matter. Just come hang out. I've done a good bit of consulting with both of the big pet retailers, and when you go to the big pet retailers, everybody brings their pets in. So I spoke at the one in California once, and the CEO's dog came up and sat on my foot while I was presenting.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do here because it's like a 150-pound dog. It was a giant dog, but
the dog does what he wants, apparently.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Centric, for being a sponsor. Again, I'll drop a link in the description. You can reach out to the Centric team. And if you'd like to connect with Julia, she's on LinkedIn. So send her a LinkedIn invite. We'll make sure you get connected there. All right. I think that's it for us this week for Velocity Live.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And I'm Christopher Durham. And that's Julia.
Thanks,
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.